Hi, welcome to my kitchen. Several of you have asked if I would share some of my apothecary recipes now that we're getting into the colder months of the year. So today I'll be sharing with you how I make my Harvest Fire Cider. Fire cider is a wellness tonic, and the name was coined by herbalist Rosemary Gladstar in the late 70s. Her original recipe consisted of 7 core ingredients. I've expanded upon her recipe to make my Harvest Fire Cider. Here's what you need: horseradish root, garlic, hot chilies. Here I'm using a jalapeno and Spanish cayenne from my garden, turmeric root, ginger root, onions. I prefer red onions, however you can use white or yellow onions as well. Some form of citrus. Here I'm using lemon. You'll also need black peppercorns. The piperine in black pepper enhances the absorption of the curcumin in the turmeric. I also like to include the addition of rose hips, as well as fresh herbs. Here I have rosemary and thyme. There are 2 additional star ingredients I'll be using: raw apple cider vinegar and raw local honey. And you'll also need a large glass jar with a lid. If at all possible, this is an instance where you really want to use organic ingredients, and of course, wash them thoroughly before using. Horseradish root generally has a very woody outside, so I always peel them. If the turmeric and ginger root are older, then you'll want to peel those as well. Mine here were very young, so it was not necessary. I find that a half-gallon mason jar is a perfect size for a batch of fire cider. I want to cut up the ingredients small enough to allow for proper extraction during the infusion period. Many people use a food processor or grater to prep their ingredients. I'm a very tactile person who prefers using a knife. Plus, this allows me to examine the ingredients as I'm prepping in case any are blemished and need to be discarded. I grew up in the South, where it was common practice to use kitchen remedies, or what is often referred to as folk medicine. In our culture, it's very much believed that food is indeed medicine. I take fire cider to support my immune system. While there's not currently any direct research proving the health benefits of fire cider specifically, there is research supporting the benefits of many of its individual ingredients. Horseradish root, for instance, is known for its anti-inflammatory characteristics. It's mildly antibacterial, rich in antioxidants and vitamin C, and works as a decongestant. Onions and garlic are both members of the allium family and are known to be anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antimicrobial, antiviral, and also a good source of vitamin C. Citrus fruits, like lemons, contain antioxidants that can help reduce inflammation as well as a source of vitamin C. Thyme is an antimicrobial powerhouse herb that thins mucus and provides digestive support. Rosemary is antimicrobial and rich in antioxidants. You see that I'm layering each ingredient as I go into my half-gallon jar. I'll share the full recipe in a corresponding blog post. What you see here is only one part of the process. When I finish prepping my jar of fire cider today, it will need to be stored in a dark place out of sunlight for 4 to 6 weeks. Because it will need to be gently shaken every day or so, I keep it in a cabinet in the kitchen where it's easily accessible. After that 4 to 6 weeks are up, I'll strain the fire cider, retaining only the liquid, and add raw honey to taste. I'll do a follow-up video sharing that process. Chilies that are high in capsaicin are a decongestant and stimulate the circulatory system, and are also antimicrobial and antioxidant. Curcumin, the main active compound in turmeric, is a powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. Later on, you'll see I include black peppercorns because the piperine found in peppercorns has been shown to increase the body's ability to absorb the curcumin in turmeric by 2,000%. Piperine is not only a nutrient enhancer, it is also an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. Ginger is anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and antimicrobial, and stimulates blood circulation. Ginger also has a very long history of being used to aid digestion, reduce nausea, and to manage cold and flu symptoms. And both ginger and turmeric have been studied for their ability to provide relief from chronic pain. Although you can add the peppercorns and rose hips whole, I prefer to slightly crush them before adding them to the jar. Rose hips are packed with antioxidants like quercetin and high in vitamin C. I vary some of these additional ingredients like rose hips depending on the season. For example, in winter, I add oranges and cinnamon, and in spring, I'll add nettle and lemongrass, and sometimes grapefruit or lime. Once I have all of the ingredients in my jar, I'll fill the jar with raw apple cider vinegar, being sure all the ingredients are covered while still leaving a little headspace in the jar. Apple cider vinegar has both antibacterial and antioxidant properties. I use a wooden spoon to release any air pockets and then cover the jar with a piece of parchment paper, and then the lid. The parchment paper will prevent the acid in the vinegar from corroding the lid. Every day or so, give your jar a gentle shake. Lastly, after the 4 to 6 weeks are up, I'll also need local, raw, unfiltered honey to add to the finished cider. Honey is antibacterial, antifungal, antioxidant, and anti-inflammatory. Be sure to stay tuned for part 2, where I'll finish my Harvest Fire Cider and discuss how to use it.